Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the GuildMag podcast. Joining me as always, we have Casey today. Say hi.
Hello.
Casey. Yay!
Hi, Casey.
So we've got a bit of a laid-back show today. We're going to be doing mostly Heart of Thorns speculation because it's been we're going to be honest, it's been a slow news week.
It really has.
But yeah, we've got lots of speculation to do. A couple of balance updates we're going to talk about, some data mined stuff, and take your views from chat as well. So if you're joining us live, make sure you do send us all your speculation about what's going to be happening on Saturday's PAX live stream, and of course Heart of Thorns in general, and we will read them out. And of course, if you're not watching us live, do let us know in the comments section below. Before we begin, I want to do a quick reminder. Well, two quick reminders actually. So on Saturday is of course the Guild Wars 2 PAX live stream, and Casey and I are going to be doing our own kind of analysis pre-show stream. So for all the details, go to guildmag.com/PAX. We've got loads of prizes to give away as well if you do happen to join us on the day.
Yeah, we were just doing calculations, trying to figure out how many prizes we've got, and we told her, I don't know if we're allowed to say on the show. I often say things I'm not allowed to say.
Go on, let's do it.
Yeah, so we've got 760 gold worth of prizes, and these prizes include like Mordrum skins and gemstore cards and the dragon Shadow of the Dragon armor set and tons of minis, llama minis, gemstore minis, and just so much stuff. I really want this stuff, but we are giving it away to you guys. So definitely join us during the show because there's so much stuff to win. It's going to be awesome. I love these giveaway stuff. They're always the best.
I know, right? So yeah, for all the details, check out guildmag.com/PAX. Our stream starts at 8 AM PST, which is half an hour before the official stream. So we're going to do like a bit more speculation there, do a couple of giveaways as well. Then the official stream will happen, which we'll be streaming as well on our channel if you want, you know, a more relaxed chat environment, I guess, rather than the craziness of the official channel. So you can stick around on ours.
It's going to be like
yeah,
all the stuff going fast.
Exactly. So yeah, ours will go out exactly the same time as the official stream. And then we'll do our analysis show right after it, with the rest of the giveaways and, you know, your guys' feedback as well, much like we kind of do now. So 8 AM PST it begins, guildmag.com/PAX or twitch.tv/guildmag.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this with people, you know, being able... Yeah, like being able to do it with our viewers. So like instead of just being by yourself on the Twitch stream, you come hang out with us, chat with us. It would be just awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. One thing that Ron and I have agreed to do is we're going to make bets on what we think Arena is going to announce. And whoever is the closest to what Arena announced, and if we can't agree between ourselves, we'll let the viewers decide. I think we'll do this after the announcement. Someone will do a dare. So if I lose, Ron will dare me to do something embarrassing, and if Ron loses, I will dare him to do something. And the example I gave him was like cluck like a chicken or make an impression like an elephant. But I think I'll have to think of something a bit more devious than that.
I know what I'm going to get you to do already.
Oh no, really? What?
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
Whoa, no, tell me.
I'm not telling you. Well, no, I was going to give you a clue, but you'd be able to figure it out pretty easily.
You're not going to make me twerk, are you?
I don't know. Anything could happen.
Oh, no. I'm going to go and look up YouTube videos on how to twerk because I do not want to be embarrassed if I get it wrong. Like, twerking is embarrassing enough, but seeing my white girl, like, twerk will be so bad. I can't do it. Especially how good you did it last time.
That's what I did as well. I actually YouTubed how to twerk as well before I had to do it. So if you need any tips, come to me.
That's why you were so good. Oh, I thought you were like part of some secret underground night dance crew or something like that. And you like on the weekends you did like these big dance offs in like abandoned warehouses and you were twerk. I don't know, my imagination was taking me places. But yeah, so I'm really excited to do that. I hope I win.
You're not going to. I'm going to win because
no, we still have to talk about what our bets are. Like, I haven't bet yet, but I'm so going to win.
Yeah, so the second announcement we've got, just a reminder, is that next week we're moving to Sunday at 10 a.m. GMT instead of Thursday. So if you try and tune in on Thursday, we won't be here. And that doesn't mean to say we're doing the Sunday right after this Saturday, if that makes sense. This is this week's stream today, and then Sunday the February the 1st is when we go to Sunday. February the 1st, there we go.
So good. Is it a leap year this year?
I don't think so. No, it's not. It's not.
Oh.
Okay, so let's get into today's stuff then. So we've got on here, we're going to start off with the balance updates, I guess.
Yep. So did you have a chance to read them?
I've read them a little bit. Do you want to talk people through what they are briefly? And then we can discuss them.
Yeah, so the balance patch is basically where they go through and configure all the classes and everything like that to the way that they think would be a lot better. And the big things that happened on this one was that they're going to debuff might. The confusion skill increase in PvE is up by 33%, which is bonkers, and a lot of class skill cooldown and effects that tweaked. Like, it all depends on each class, and my internet is horrendously slow at the moment, so I've been trying to open up the full list this entire time, and no. Oh, here we go. Now that I've called it out, it's like so I didn't really see any. Shall we just go down the list of, let's start with might?
Yeah.
What about the might change?
So
the might change. Go on.
I was going to say the might reduced from 35 per stack to 30. Seems like actually when you consider like 20 stacks of might, it's quite a considerable difference. You know, losing 5 with each stack. You know, it's basically 100 less. I did the maths quickly there. 5 times 20. I'm so good. So essentially 100 less power and condition damage you're getting, which it's relatively sizable. I mean, when you consider how much power does a Zerker normally have, I don't know this. I just whack things.
Yeah. And they hurt a lot. That's how I know I'm doing my job right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it seems like I don't really know why. Did they explain why they were nerfing might? I can't recall.
I think no. Oh, not that I can see on here. I have a feeling a comment was made about it, saying, you know, it's not gonna, you know, it's too much, or I don't know, but they made a comment about it. But I think it's not exactly a bad thing. I mean, they nerfed with Fiery Greatsword, and we thought, oh my god, the reign of the Zerker is over. Well, the Zerker Ellie anyway, and it didn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I was going to say, they keep like chipping away at this Zerker meta, I guess, but it's, I mean, we've said this before when they did the Frosty changes, and Zerker was reduced by 10% damage or something.
Yeah.
We said it before, Zerker is really never going to go away because it's always essentially going to be the highest DPS. It's just, it feels like they're just decreasing that DPS a little bit. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when you look at the other balance changes as well, I mean, just jumping to Guardian, because that's one that stood out most for me, is they're kind of trying to buff the whole shield aspect of Guardian, which if you're like a serious Guardian player for PvE, it's not, you don't particularly ever really use a shield, because it's, you know, great sword focus is generally the Zerker meta for them.
That's what I use.
Yeah. And we had a comment in chat actually from Drizzy, I feel ya. There we go.
I love names.
I really hate the might change. It really just confirms the fact that Guild Wars 2 is a game balanced strictly for PvP. And this is something we've talked about before actually, is in Guild Wars 1 they split PvP and PvE skills, or at least for some of them. And we've discussed, it was probably like a year ago or something on this podcast, whether or not they should do the same for Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't remember my stance on it.
I remember. I think I was for it. But yeah, I mean, I know if you're in PvP, if you play Bunker Guardian, a shield is like a really useful tool. I think it's hammer and then mace shield, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm not much of a PvPer, but so buffing that is, you know, I guess a balance for PvP as well as trying to make it more viable in PvE.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people commenting about a celestial thing, and I feel like they might know stuff because I know nothing about the celestial builds. And Mextoad, yeah, have a very special name with lots of X's, well, one X and D next to each other. Metox. Can you see it?
Meto. Oh, Meto XD. Just say.
I'm just gonna go. Yeah, Meto XD. I'm sorry for spending so much time on that. They said I think they meant they nerfed Might because Celestial Might stacking builds are too strong, not about the Zerka builds. And Priest Telly also agrees that Celestial Ellies are kind of OP. So. Yeah, so it maybe has something to do with Celestial builds. I know nothing about Celestial builds. So maybe it's got something to do with that. Do you know anything about it?
I mean, in all honesty, I thought the Celestial Ellie build was dead. So, like, I honestly had no idea it was still around. I mean, I guessed it was to combat the whole might stacking thing, because I know you love might stacking on your Ellie.
Oh, yeah. I love that might. I stack all night.
But, I mean, I honestly feel like when you employ, like, the might stacking... Is it a strategy? I wouldn't say strategy, but you know what I mean. When you play might stacking, say in a dungeon run, I'd say I wouldn't necessarily see that as a bad thing. I feel as if it's players taking advantage of mechanics that already exist, rather than like, what am I trying to say? So I feel like if your group is organised enough to might stack effectively, then you shouldn't necessarily be what's the word? What's the opposite of rewarded?
Penalised?
Penalised, there we go. Penalised for it. Which is essentially what this might nerf is.
Apparently it's a PvP thing. I feel terrible that our viewers are being so informative to us. There's Drizzy, I feel says exactly it was nerfed because of the Celestial meta and PvE players will only lose out on this. It also says I do dungeons in organised group and it will hurt, I'm sure of that. And then the usual comments like PvP is for idiots.
Yeah. As you can tell, we're such PvP pros.
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed. Like, I should know this. I had no idea about the Celestial meta. Okay, so it's Celestial meta, and then the might stacking obviously makes up for any, damage decrease. And so that's interesting. That is obviously a lot of PvE people are resenting the change because of PvP.
Yeah. So the confusion thing then. For PvE only, this is something we can talk about.
I can talk about this, yeah.
So do you want to kick that off then?
So confusion in PvE was basically really lackluster. Like, I really love the Scepter Mesmer, and their main thing is confusion on Scepter, and I traded for confusion and I really liked confusion, but the thing is in PvE the mobs don't act like real players. They're slow, they only use skills every now and then, they're dumb, so they'll come and walk up to you and then just hang around. Even if you like, come hit me, they'll be like, I'm not sure about this. And so confusion was really, really lackluster, and obviously they've noticed that no one is using confusion in PvE because you cannot guarantee a mob will use the skill. So they've obviously decided to buff it up by 33%. The damage increase is going to increase by 33%, which is massive in PvE. So that is really cool. I'm kind of excited to see if anyone will start using condition mesmers.
Yeah, again, like we were talking before, it seems like they're definitely trying to push condition damage is the thing. I'm pretty sure the last balance up that they did, they were pushing condition damage as well. I can't quite remember, but I vaguely remember us talking about it.
Well, sorry.
I was... What was I going to... I can't remember what I was going to say. You cut me off and I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. I stole your thought. Well, if it comes back, you cut me off,
okay.
and I literally will be all even. I run a condition damage warrior at the moment, and it's not as good as Berserker, like in the sense of like pure numbers by damage. But I like it a lot because I use it in the Silver Waste, and it means that like when I get overwhelmed, I can run away, and there's a 50% chance that my conditions will kill it, you know, after I run away a little bit. So condition build isn't completely underpowered anymore. Like when I changed from Berserker to condition damage, I didn't feel like, oh my god, I've been crippled. I felt like, yeah, this is pretty cool, you know? So I really like the changes that they're making with this, buffing up condition, and confusion really did need to be buffed up.
Yeah.
So some of the comments we got, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to pull out, Drizzy's again. So I really don't get buffing condition damage for PvE. As long as they don't figure out a way to deal with condition cap, it's not going to be viable for group play. And I honestly completely agree. I mean, I've talked about this on previous shows before. I feel like, I mean, I mostly, when I play Guild Wars 2 these days, I mostly do like dungeon runs, speed runs, that kind of thing of content, and then obviously play the patches for the podcast. So in my world, I don't agree with having condition damage. So when Casey comes along, it's like, I've got my condition warrior. I'm like, nope.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like you just naturally apply enough conditions to warrant it, kind of, anyway. Like, I prefer 5 Zerkers to 4 Zerkers in a condition. That's just my personal preference, just because I want to be out of there as quick as possible, essentially.
Yeah.
But, I mean, So, go on.
That's the point, is that my condition damage build is good, but it's not the highest DPS that you can possibly do. Like, it is, you just get more DPS with Berserker. That's just the way it is.
I was going to say, at the same time, I recognise that people also play this game for fun, shockingly. And honestly, when I'm not in super, like, I need to go farm mode, I'll go on, like, my Ellie or my warrior, which is still Zerkers, but they're not, like, my warrior doesn't use a great sword. She uses an axe and offhand sword, just because that's what I'll play if I'm tired of being a Zerker with a great sword all the time. It's still a Zerker, but it's not necessarily like the meta thing to do, if that makes sense. I get that a condition damage build is still something people enjoy playing. I mean, like you mentioned with your warrior, you enjoy that build. So
I enjoy it immensely.
I'm not against, if they were to buff condition damage up just for people who enjoy playing it like that, that's completely fine. I'm all for it. It's when they start trying to push it as a viable alternative to the Zerker in like dungeons, to like the upper tiers of dungeons, that kind of thing, that I start to grate my teeth a little bit. But that's just the elitist coming out with me.
Yeah, because if they buff it to a point where it's as equal, it's as viable as Berserker, there's no reason people can't play both. I mean, if the Berserker and the condition damage builds do the same amount of damage, then there's just, that's just, all that's doing is adding variety to the game, and that's not a bad thing at all. But it takes work. It will take a lot of work to get it to that point.
I feel like if you buff condition damage to the point where it becomes the same level of a Zerker, considering I'm about to venture into PvP territory here, so people are going to shoot me down instantly. But I imagine if you buff conditions up to that same level, that it's just going to become ridiculously overpowered in PvP, because there's just no way you can remove that many conditions in PvP. When you think about the PvP matches I've played, where you are against like a condition damage oriented build, it is very difficult to counter against it if you don't have a buttload of condition removal or ways to kind of counteract the degen or that kind of thing. So I think it's a very fine line between trying to buff up condition damage to the Zerka level and something else that I've forgotten.
Well, Perry Ch in the chat says, in short fights, direct damage is always better, and he's agreed with, Jersey, I feel ya. Priest Tully says, for condition damage to be good in PvE, you're going to have to fix all the bosses and their condition resistance. And I have to agree, like, my condition damage build is awesome for the husks in the silver waste, because the silver waste husks are very resistant to direct damage. So you hit it and you do 500 damage or something like that, and then you see the conditions doing 2,000 damage, and I'm like, yeah, you know, this is what I made this build for. But it's right. When you're doing speedrun dungeons, you just don't have enough time for that sort of damage to tick. Whereas in the Silver Waste, a lot of the bosses have a lot of health. They're designed to be fought by a lot of players, and then you run into the condition cap, and that's another problem. That's going into territory that I am nowhere near qualified to go into.
So is there anything else you want to pull out of the balance updates before we move on?
No, the rest of it is just really like increasing the damage or decreasing the length, or cast time has been reduced by 22%. Just like tiny little things that I really didn't pick out. I bet you there's something in there. Just to say, when I looked at these notes, upcoming changes and features, I actually skipped past it and went to the content updates, and I saw the SAB, and I was like, why is no one talking about this? And then because there's a little thing that says SAB, you know, will be upgraded, and then it was like, oh, this is, you know, like they're working on it, sort of like in the really far background sort of thing. So I was really sad about that. But one thing I'm a little bit upset on Warrior, there's the number 2 on Sword, the leaping kind of cripple is awful. You leap and jump, except it only cripples 50% of the time because positioning freaks out, and it's absolutely awful to I don't rely on it for cripple anymore, which is terrible because I need it in the Silver Wastes, and I wish they would fix that, but it's not there. That's all I have to say. Oh,
maybe they fixed it but they forgot to mention it. And then it's a surprise. It's a surprise for Casey. That's what it is.
I would hope so. Like when I leap at a Terragriff, I leap at a Terragriff's face, get really close to it, and as it's charging, I'm like, if I cripple this thing, it will just go it goes flat. You know, it doesn't do its big move. Except I leap at it, and then it's like, oh no, I don't know where that cripple condition went. It obviously didn't go on the Terragriff, and then I get bowled over and I get the freaking Terragriff to the face. But I shall get off my cert books now.
Alright, so I guess then we will move on from balance updates. And just before we go into our PAX Heart of Thorn speculation, we're going to talk a bit about data mined shizzle. So that Charmin, it's actually been quite busy this week. So we had, was that this week, the 19th? Yes, it was. So at the start of this week, we had 2 new headgear models data mined by that shaman, which basically are both covering the eyes like that. Then you've linked another thing that I actually haven't seen yet, which... Is that new armor, the one you've linked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the matching to Ritlock's.
Yes. Oh my god, I need that. So I guess, I mean, we talk about these data mine stuff before. It normally turns out to be completely unrelated to anything. So do we dare venture into that territory again?
Yeah, well, we have nothing, we don't, it's a very relaxed show, and whatever we decide to speculate out, it will be confirmed or denied by the weekend, so I reckon we should. Let's do this.
Alright, so
go on.
I'd say start off with what you started the week off, with the 2 new headgear models, the things that cover the eyes. So again, building on this whole Ritlock thing, of his blindfold. So where do we I suppose overall, where do we think they're going with this?
The blindfolds are really odd in my opinion. I don't know where they're going with the blindfolds. I I don't know, like, why are they introducing so much blindfold stuff? Like, if it was just that one thing to match Ridlock's armor, but they're introducing another set with the spiky blindfold. And I'm like, well, and a lot of people think that this might mean something like a ritualist. And I don't know. What about you?
I don't know either. Like
Oh, by the way, guys, tell us what you think.
Yes.
Go on. Sorry.
So I mean, we could tie this into an article we were going to bring up later on. It's an article on GuildMag.com written by one of our writers called "Ascension: The Hard Way," and basically the writer Star is puts forward the idea that Ritlock's disappearance could be used as a way to introduce new skills and new classes in Heart of Thorns, whatever that content that turns out to be, whether it's an expansion or some people saying, you know, maybe another Living World episode, which I don't agree with that one, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And the argument she makes at the end is that it could potentially be a ritualist, because we see in the cinematic when he holds up his sword to like imbue it with some kind of power and then slices the Mordrum down, reminded her of the weapon skills that ritualists had in Guild Wars 1, like Splinter Weapon, where you'd imbue your weapon with magical powers and then it would do things. So we could... I don't think Ritualist is going to return, personally. It feels... I think... Did they ever confirm that they'd worked Guardian, like Ritualist into Guardian, or was that always speculation?
I don't know about that, but I do remember them saying at the very start, we're not going to make any more classes because it's way too hard to balance them all. We're more likely to make new races. Yes, I'm not entirely sure. And also but there's three light armors, 3 medium armors, and 2 heavy armors. So a heavy ritualist, because I know that sounds so silly, but could they be bringing in a heavy class to make it 3-3-3, which is really far fetched. I'm not quite sure I believe my own words.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I would struggle to find another heavy class that is different from the Guardian and Warrior. Like, I couldn't think of a concept of one, because Warrior is essentially your master of all weapons that we have in the moment. That's their thing. And then Guardian is the more magical, protecty, heavy. It's basically your what's the word?
You guard people.
I think I was trying to think of a word. I can't. Anyway, it's essentially your sword and magic class at the same time. So I think like a new heavy armor would have to fit in and be completely different from them, and I can't think of something a heavy armor wielding class could do that was so different.
Or like a necromancy heavy armor, like focus more on minions and minion turrets and that sort of thing. I suppose that's what a ritualist would do. I
mean, yeah, like ritualist was kind of the static minions of because you had basically the ritualists and then the necromancers. Necromancers had the minions that could move. Ritualists had the ones that were static and ranged. Ritualist was a weird class because it had a bit of healing and support in there. It had a bit of damage. It had a bit of minion summoning. It kind of had a bit of everything, which I suppose in a way actually fits Guild Wars 2 model of classes, because every class can kind of, in a way, every class has support things, damage things, condition things, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it could potentially fit into Guild Wars 2 class model, but I agree. I think rather than a new class, we would see new races.
New races. It's very dicey to think that they would release a new class. I mean, they could do anything at this point. Like that I'm gonna be like I feel like anything is on the table. Like if they say we're going to go to Cancer and here's a ritual, a heavy armor ritualist, I would be like, oh my god, but I would like totally believe it. You know, at the moment they could really go anywhere, but I agree it's not likely, it's not probable, but it could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other data mine, do you want to talk about the Ritlock armor and the other stuff?
Oh, okay. So I linked this earlier in the chat. So it's like, it's what it is a picture that was rendered by that shaman, and it's a very spiky metallic armor with lots of beautiful side boob. And it seems very similar to Ridlock's because on one of the previous pictures we have on him, he had a new set of armor and a black blindfold with a little red symbol in the middle. And so now we see a human in the same sort of armor with the blindfold. So, you know, people were saying, oh, Ridlock's bringing back the obsidian armor, like that you got in Guild Wars 1. And so this could be the obsidian armor, but I really like that they're introducing a new armor set through him, you know. Introducing new content through the game, through the character, through plot is really, really cool. And I really like this armor set a lot. I mean, I don't know if I should go into this territory, but I really like the kind of sensual stuff. Like, I really don't like MMOs where all the characters have is like little nipple tassels and the boobs are going like this. But I find Guild Wars does a really great line between overly not sexy, but overly I don't know how to say it, gratuitous, I guess is the word, and being sensual. And I really like this sort of stuff, and it looks cool, like it looks fantasy. Like, I don't play this game to wear the pretty long dresses that I wear in real life, you know. I play this game to look like a cool badass, and I really love it. And I do like this armor a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I really like it as well. Do you know what the irony is going to be, though? It's going to look terrible on Char. An armor based on Ritlock is going to look terrible on Chart. I'm calling it right now.
You reckon you didn't like the one that Ritlock was wearing?
Well, yeah, but it's... I mean, they'll have done something. I mean, they
oh, okay, yeah, like, it can't be exactly like Ritlock's.
Yeah.
It has to be, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I agree. I do genuinely really like that armor. So I'm a sucker for armors like that. I'll probably end up getting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had something I was going to talk about and I've completely forgotten. So we'll have to move on.
I'll just make a comment.
Yeah.
The Panzer says we need at least small boob on Azura so Annette can realise that they can wear female armour too. I like 50-50 because I don't think that they need boobs. Like, I don't think Char and Azura need boobs, but Annette really needs to stop with this, you know, unisex clothes for Char and Azura, because in the end they just look male. Like, I don't like that. You know, female Azura would wear different things than the male ones. You know, maybe the Char would wear unisex, but their bodies are so different. Like, and it's very boring. Like, if you look at the humans and the Norn, it shows has so much variety, and then all of a sudden, nah. So I don't think they need boobs, but I do agree that we need more female armor for the Azura. And I have to quickly say, Kenyon Swift is like, Valiant, no, this armor was designed for Ridlock. Do not lose faith. One day we'll get armors without tail clipping. That was such a hopeful message.
One day I dream. So yeah, that's the data mine stuff. I guess we should go on to Heart of Thorns and pack speculation.
Yep.
All right. So, what should we talk about first? I guess, should we make our bets then? Should we kick things off with making our bets about what we think Arena are going to announce?
Or should we do that during the pre-show?
Ooh. All right, we'll do it. We'll do that during the pre-show then. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Avoiding that then.
Yeah.
You see, should we? Okay, well, I'll talk about it a little bit, and then I'll expand on it in the pre-show for those that didn't join them. So, Heart of Thorns generally. Do we think it's going to be an expansion, or do we think it's going to be kind of living world? That's kind of the big, I suppose, the big question everyone's asking at the moment is it going to be expansion or is it not?
Yeah.
Tradition.
Are they? Is it going to? I think they're going to do the like expansion in this sort of way. Like we're doing an expansion, but we're totally different, guys. Yeah, that sort of attitude, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said this last time. My personal belief is it'll be an expansion, maybe released for free. I know one of the bloggers shares this view with me, because it's something different, and I guess if you release it for free, you get more people to buy the base game. Kind of introducing them to the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, it's the only thing that sprung to mind when they said they're going to be like unique. I can't remember the quote now. We said it last week. I feel like I think they know that if they were to do another Living World season and try and hype it up and brand it as an expansion, that a lot of people would get quite mad. So I genuinely don't think it's going to be Living World Season 3. I think it's something much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they've got essentially a redesigned logo for it. I mean, that's very much like the original Guild Wars 2 logo, and this is the first time they've ever done something like that. When you look at all the other Living Worlds and episodes, nothing's kind of had a logo as like this. I mean, it feels like an expansion logo. I could easily see that being on like a boxed expansion. Whether or not we're going to get a boxed expansion is completely...
I think that's the big thing, is whether it's a boxed expansion.
Yeah.
Whether it's all in one like release date or whether it's going to be... I think that's, that's the big thing.
Absolutely.
And I see a lot of the comments that people are making. A lot of people are like, they've hyped it up so much, it has to be this. And a lot of people have their own ideas. But another thing is, like, a lot of people are scared because ArenaNet is not very good at tempering hype, like, dropping their hints that, no, it's not going to be Cantha, that sort of thing. So I feel like a lot of people are really scared that they're just going to be like, and what we're announcing is the box season 2, like, season 2 box stuff, that sort of thing. A lot of people are worried about that. But I don't think it's going to be. I think if they were bringing Mike O'Brien and Colin together, I think they're pretty serious about something.
Absolutely. And as Obi XID points out, ArenaNet's turn your phone off.
Sorry.
ArenaNet's never trademarked a Living World logo or release, and that's very true. So this is definitely. I mean, they branded it in the cinematic trailer as Guild Wars 2, Heart of Thorns. That's completely an expansion in my mind. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And like
I just have to say.
Yeah. Go on.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, just go on. You go. I was.
No, I'm not going. I'm teasing you. Finish it, and I'll say afterwards.
I just don't even know what I was gonna say now. This has happened 3 times now today.
I'm so sorry. I'm such a terrible interrupter. I get so excited. I'm like, I have to speak. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It makes it worse by Skype and the lag we have here. I'm so sorry, Ron.
It's fine.
Take my apologies.
You say what you were going to say.
I have to say, Calamari, Ron, I did say that ArenaNet hypes things up, and Calamari says ArenaNet didn't hype anything the community has, and true, the consumers are hyping stuff up. I completely agree. That was an off statement by me. We are just as guilty. I feel like, it'd be great if like someone talked to us and they say, "Is it Cantha?" And they're like, "You're setting your hopes pretty high," just something like that,
Absolutely.
So I think that would be a lot better, but you can't have everything, can you?
No, you can't. So I guess is there anything you wanna talk about, or any speculation you have about what they're gonna?
Well, Well, I'll just quickly say, guys, put in, what do you think that they're going to say? What do you think that they're going to say during the announcement? What do you think they're going to come up? What is Mike O'Brien? What are you expecting? Guys, put it in there so we can start reading out, because we really want to, like, I guess Tumblr would say signal boost. God, I hate that expression. Yeah, so I think that would be awesome. I just have to quickly say, Rowan, can you take care of the situation in the chat?
Yeah.
I'll carry it for a little while.
Okay.
So my speculation is I'm really excited. I think that there's going to be an expand a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of cool things. I don't think I'm gonna be a new class. I like when I have to deal with the situation, when I have to talk, my lie gets terrible. Yeah, okay. You take over. What do you think was gonna happen?
Well, you're fine now. Carry on. You're fine. Don't worry.
Okay. I think lots of comments like, wow, robot, slow-mo Casey. I think so I think maybe a new race, maybe a new area, but it won't be a big area because they don't want to split their player base more than they already have. I think a lot of it will be story orientated, and I'm honestly saying I have no idea. I'm saying things that I really have no idea. I think that there will be this massive storyline with Fairlane, and they've just been getting better and better at this sort of stuff. So I'm really excited. Yeah, so do you want to tell us what you think, Rowan, and then we'll start getting things out of chat?
Absolutely. Well, actually, Priest Tullia said something that I was going to bring up, actually. I'll just read out the first bit. It'll be an expansion or something similar in which we get a lot more zones in Tyria. No Cantha, no Alona. We'll eventually fight and kill Mordramoth, and we'll get a new race, maybe or maybe not a new profession. I agree. I think they're going to expand out the map they already have, rather than us getting to visit Cantha or Alona. Because, I mean, the storyline that they're going in makes sense to go deeper into Maguma and the jungle anyway, rather than suddenly decide to zip off to Cantha or Alona for some particular reason. So I agree with that.
Well, I think that they're going to announce the way that because there's 5 dragons. There's 5. I think they're going to use, like, they have to kill the dragons. Like, that is the storyline.
The 6, dear.
6.
There's 6 dragons, dear.
I'm embarrassed. People are going to be like, you call yourself a lore girl? And I'll be like, I know nothing. There's 6. And so I think what they're going to introduce is the way that they're going to serialize killing them. Like, for example, if it's going to be an expansion, that is how they're going to defeat the dragons. Like, expansion, then there'll be, more expansions for each dragon. And the living story will be the connecting tissue. It was correcting me, guys. I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm ashamed, and I should be, I don't know, told off. But yeah, so I think that is what they're going to do, is that this is, whatever they come out now, this is how they're going to serialize killing all the dragons. And this is, like, they've obviously thought about this, and this is their game plan going on for the rest of the game. Yeah. So shall we start pulling out some things people have said? Have you got any that you've seen that you quite like?
I mean, I've just been watching people correct you, so...
yeah, you're like, yes, Casey, be corrected.
So, SF Panzer, talking about the weapons. Spear on land, scythe, great axe, and brawling weapons would be what I'd like to see for new weapons in the game. I completely think we're going to get some sort of new weapon. If not a new weapon, then more weapons for existing classes at the very least.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I know a lot of people have been talking about spears on land from the cinematic, where we see a lot of the corrupted Sylvari and whatnot, and even Fowlin impaling a poor soldier on a spear.
I know, and the way she held him up was like, I did this.
She's quite strong for Sylvari to do that and like hold an entire person up like that.
A great sword and a dead man on there. That's impressive. I have a feel like it was more artistic flair than anything.
I wanted to put forward, I wanted to see what you thought about are we going to see spears, or is this literally just an artistic thing that they've done? I mean,
ArenaNet does not do artistic. Like, when they were creating the art, they're like, oh, Kanik has a sword and shield. Because it was Kanik who was holding the spear, wasn't it?
Well, there were quite a few. Fallon definitely had a spear.
Oh, then I'm not sure. I'm speaking...
Well, I think there were just a couple of Sylvari that just genuinely had spears in that fight scene.
I think they did it on purpose. I do, definitely.
I mean, I guess because when you think about it, there's so many weapons they had to choose from. I mean, Fallon doing that could have easily happened on a greatsword, I guess, or something like that.
I thought it was a great sword, but
it's like a spear, but with a thing on the end of it, so not quite a spear. I don't know. Anyway, there's probably a name for it. It's some sort of pole arm at the very least. So I suppose I'd quite like to see spears or any kind of new weapon. Scythes I would love to see in the game as a weapon. Just you know, harking back to the dervish days. Go on.
Just as an Ellie, I want new weapons. I'm sick of, you know, either scepter or basically the one hand, you know, the main handed is focus or you know, it seems like we have a lot, but it feels really stagnant at the moment. Like, it would be nice compared to a warrior. Ellie seems really stagnant, and not having a weapon swap sucks as well.
I mean, the problem we have is that we've been using the same 5 weapon skills for like 2 years now, essentially.
For 2 years.
So it's definitely time to get a bit of variety in there. So I'd love to see things. I know Priest Tully earlier in chat, I mean, I'm not going to scroll back to find it because there's so much happened since then, mentioned when we were talking about new classes, there is a potential for to be like kind of the opposite of a guardian, like a death knight kind of thing, so magic but kind of destructive magic as opposed to a focus on support and kind of the whole holy-ish aspect, which could also bring in new weapons, I guess. They could do something with there, but that was something I just wanted to bring out, and I just remembered. I think that was one of the things you interrupted me that I was going to bring out, so it's all right.
I just have to mention that they're talking a lot. Our group chat is talking a lot about fractals, and I love fractals more than any other dungeon. I love it so much. I think it's a lot of fun, and I would be so happy to see more fractals, more variation. So there's a lot of people saying, oh yeah, Drizzy, I feel you, says, oh yeah, new dungeons definitely in fractals, and they really cracked out on the fractals. He says, which I think that I agree. Like, they really, when they started up, they were like, yeah, we're gonna add fractals, and it creates a whole new dynamic that we can just add stuff to. It was, here's 2 new fractals in the entire time, you know, that sort of thing. So I would really love to see more fractals. I
agree with the new dungeons thing. I feel like traditionally in expansions in other MMOs, when you get new dungeons, they increase in difficulty and higher. I suppose in other MMOs, like higher gear level checks and that kind of thing. So I feel like when we get new dungeons, they'll all be level 80 ones, and they should be good. I mean, considering the problem with new dungeons is how they need for them to be beneficial in like 2-3 months down the line after the expansion's release, and then on, they have to be runnable for people, because like, I mean, look what happened with TA Aetherpath. In my opinion, they put in some great mechanics that require teamwork and aren't just about stacking, but nobody does it just because how time consuming it is.
You know, I just quickly venture on that we were going to do it as a guild, so I went and found a pug to go and do it with, and this pug wasn't bad. They weren't great, they weren't bad, and it was like pulling teeth. It was long and painful, and it just the length of it made me just not want to do it. And in the end, like after spending 3 hours in there, which we were all learning new mechanics, which so it was kind of reasonable. A lot of us hadn't done it for a long time, and one guy was explaining it to us. After, I think, no, it's not 3 hours, sorry, that was the hour one. After an hour and a half, and it was quite late, and I was just like, I need to get out of here. I can't do this dungeon anymore. So I agree, just having something like Aether Path, which great mechanics, just a little bit shorter would be fantastic.
Absolutely. I was going to pull out some chat, but it's gone. It's scrolled past me. I'll have to find it
sorry.
So yeah, new Dungeons Fractals. Is there anything I think we could potentially see the beginnings of some kind of raid or something like that, especially with the raid CDI that was going on. I mean, I know that there was a bit of controversy.
Yeah.
There was a bit of controversy around the raid CDI, and it got shut down earlier than it should have done, but I still think there's hope, because I mean, we've talked about before how I feel like the boss fights of the living world have been getting better and better. So I feel like there's potential to see some kind of big raid on like a modern champions, kind of Shadow of the Dragon-esque, but bigger in scale and more awesome. I'd love to see that.
How awesome would it be if like 3 groups of 5 enter an area, and they've all got, their own thing, and you got to work together to defeat it, and then like a small army. That would be pretty cool, I reckon.
Yeah, to me, that's exactly what makes a good raid. I mean, we talked about this last year at some point. I was playing back when I was playing Final Fantasy, and you have groups of 8 people, and the 3 groups of 8 who go into a raid, and they all have different things to do to be successful as a whole. And to me, that's a great way to differentiate it from just like another big dynamic event in Guild Wars 2, where everyone just piles in and you don't particularly know what's going on, but it's still working anyway.
You don't need to work hard, because everyone just works at 20% and it gets done.
Exactly.
But the one fight, everyone needs to be working at 100% and to follow.
So, I mean, yeah, exactly. They've shown that they know how to split people into groups, give them specific jobs, and make difficult content that people go back to, because everyone goes back to Sequatl. I mean, people, keep doing it. Do people keep doing the work?
Doing him. And but it's more organized groups rather than, there's not so many taxis. But I love Sequatl, and like I don't necessarily do it for the rewards all the time. I do it for the sense of community, like everyone, and it's the same with the Vinewrath fight. I've got all my Carapace armors, and there's really no point in me doing the Vinewrath fight every time. But I really enjoy it, for that sense of community, and especially when you get, like, I had a great shard with people who were just so positive, and, like, one group failed and everyone was like, better luck next time, explaining mechanics, and when a lane succeeded, they're like, yeah, this is, great job, lane, bottom lane, or something like that. And that sense of community is the great thing, and I think that's what's really missing from guilds, is building that sense of community, building like raids that, the community of 30 or 15 does together, and that sense of, yeah, we did it, like we kicked ass, we worked hard on these builds and we worked hard and we got it. That's what's missing.
Absolutely. I feel like Guild Wars 2 does a really good job of catering to the more casual MMO player, and I find myself often wandering to other MMOs when I'm looking for a bit more of a challenge and kind of more organized and traditional roles. I feel like if they were knocking stuff over here, if they were to include more things like, we were discussing harder dungeons, harder raids with more organized mechanics to it, I mean, that would be great. They already cater to the casuals. I think now's the time to start catering more to those who've been playing the game for for as long as we have, and are looking for a bit more of a challenge in Guild Wars 2. So yeah, and I think we're kind of reaching the end of the show, so should we put out some last comments and then
that sounds good. So I got Spafanza says Zaitan is no world boss, so Morderoth won't be. The whole story in Guild Wars is based around defeating the dragons, and if one would come back, I lost it. There you go. Someone keeps on saying things and it goes down. will come back over and over. It would be impossible to end the story. Yeah, I agree that the dragon fights will be dungeons rather than world bosses or anything like that. But they have an opportunity, if they have an opportunity, Mordramoth, because killing Snytown was part of the personal story and you had to complete the personal, it had to be something that people could do quite easily, no matter how young, dumb, they were. So, but maybe they're going to approach Mordramoth in a way like you don't have to defeat him, or, it's a raid, it's a guild raid or something like that. Or maybe they're going to have an easy version and then a guild raid version. That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, we were forgetting that dungeons have story modes and explorable modes, so there's nothing to stop them doing like the story mode, easy version, then explorable mode. Some necromancers raising Mordramoth. Oh no, let's go and let's go and kill him again. So yeah.
I just imagine necromancers like using Mordramoth's body as a puppet. Hello, mister. Here's some tea. Would you like to play tea party with the dead body? Oh, I'm terrible.
So there was something I was going to pull out, but I've lost it again. So Northerner said, could Heart of Thorns include the first Guild Wars 2 raid being an instant fight versus Mordramoth, which is basically what we just discussed. I definitely think we're going to kill him, and it's going to be similar to Zaitan, but they'll have definitely this time thought about how actually killing the dragon rather than just pressing the button on again.
And they obviously know that we were very unhappy with the Zaitan fight, so I'm really looking forward to what they do with Mordramoth.
Absolutely. So I think on that note we can end this show then.
I think so.
So of course all this speculation is going to be revealed on Saturday. For those who haven't heard, we are doing our own PAX analysis stream straight after the show. We begin at 8 AM PST before the official announcement, where we'll do a bit more speculation. We'll get your guys' views again. We'll go into more depth then. We'll have our little bet about what we think is going to happen, who's going to be right. And then obviously whoever loses has to do a dare in the analysis show after it. And yeah, we've got giveaways. We're giving away 760 gold worth of items. Mordrum skins, minis, Shadow the Dragon, whole set of armor stuff for that. So do come and join us 8 AM PST, which is 4 PM GMT on Saturday. And on guildmag.com/packs or on this channel. We'll be here. Hopefully you guys can come and join us as well, and it's just going to be great. If you want somewhere to escape the hustle and bustle of the official stream chat, then do come and check us out. We'll have the official stream on this channel as well, so it'll go out exactly the same time as it goes on the official one, so you won't miss anything. Don't worry about that. And yeah, it should just be a really good event. Casey and I are so looking forward to doing it.
Oh my god, we are. I'm so excited. I love giving away prizes, and I love doing the whole fun events and the stream. Oh my god, I'm so excited to know what's happening. To see Colin again would be awesome. It makes me sound creepy, but Colin just has such a lovely face.
So yeah, 4 PM GMT, twitch.tv/guildmag, 8 AM PST, be here. We might be here.
Or be square.
So yeah, with that, big thank you to everyone who's joined us in the live chat today. Of course, if you're watching a recorded version of this, feel free to share your comments with us on website or on YouTube or on Twitter at GuildMag or at AFKC or at ValiantGW. Take your pick. We read them all.
Yeah, we do.
And we will see you next Sunday, 1st of February, for the next podcast, or on Saturday for the PAX live stream. So, bye everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.